Tell him to get out the area.
What are you doing around here, bro?
Get out the area, lad.
Get out the area, bro. Serious.
The man who was infamous for squeezing strangers' muscles in public, and a lot of it was picked up on camera. He chased a man onto a railway station and ended up dying, and he beat the UK police in court numerous times. But let's tell the story. Purple Aki recently passed away, but what's the actual truth in the story and the stuff that's being confirmed by the police? We're going to get into everything and talk about the infamous Purple Aki from Liverpool. 15th of July 1961. Purple Aki is first born in Liverpool to Nigerian immigrant parents, and he grows up in the local area. There's not a lot of information about this guy online, but I had to dig deep on the internet and find out that he was actually placed into care at 6 months old, suggesting family instability, possibly due to his mother's student status or other factors. He spent time in a children's home in North Wales that was set up by a prominent UK charity providing care for orphans or disadvantaged children during certain periods. This placement indicates he was not raised by a biological family and experienced an institutional upbringing from infancy. It wasn't until he was around 20 himself that he started engaging in weird activities, approaching young men in Liverpool, Manchester and North Wales, asking to feel their muscles. Sightings reported at gyms, train stations and at parks. Rumours spread among local people and school children in Merseyside, turned him into an urban legend. Parents use his name to scare kids. Purple Aki will squeeze your muscle.
What's your best muscle? How big are you?
Many people wonder, and there's rumours that the name Purple Aki actually originated from the 1970s and 80s in Merseyside, UK. It's widely regarded as racially charged, and it stems from his dark skin tone, with the term purple implying he's so black he's purple. The internet gave the name a whole new meaning and associated essentially with a meme, which we'll get into. Things turned very dark in 1986. Gary Kelly from Liverpool is followed by Purple Aki near a school and at New Brighton railway station. While fleeing him, he actually ends up going onto a live railway station and was electrocuted to death. He was charged with manslaughter.
As I say, he stalks people. He stalks them, terrifies the fuck life out of them. Yeah. And he's been stalking this one kid for months. And he's been getting closer to the kid as the weeks have been going by. And one day, this kid shit himself and ran from him. And he's chased him. And the kid's gone across a railway line. And the train's hit him.
No.
What? Now, Aki was arrested for murder, but wasn't convicted.
He was actually convicted of manslaughter and sentenced to 3 years in prison, and successfully appealed the conviction in 1988, arguing he did not intend to harm him, and he was acquitted. The case amplified his notoriety in Liverpool, with the media calling him a giant stalker. It was actually a sad story what happened to that young boy that passed away. It was a hot summer day and Gary was at New Brighton, an outdoor swimming pool with about 15 friends. He reportedly spotted a man he feared and fled alone to a nearby train station to escape. New Brighton is the end line of the Mersey railway train, so Gary hid in the stationary carriage. According to witnesses and trial evidence, he then jumped onto the tracks upon seeing a man on the platform in panic. Gary touched the live third rail carrying 750 volts and was electrocuted. He was pronounced dead at hospital despite resuscitation efforts. And in the weeks prior, Gary had allegedly been subject to a campaign of terror by a local man known for harassing young athletic boys. This included stalking, assaults and threats. Gary's behaviour changed dramatically. He became nervous, always looking over his shoulder, and people say he was scared stiff of this individual.
Whatever happened on the railway where the kid died, may the young man rest in peace. I don't know what happened, but I know that he got a sex assault without ever even being convicted of a sex offence. They put it on him for 2 years, and he used to write to the chief constable at his home. The chief constable got him done for harassment. They kept him in prison for a year, and I think he's had $250,000 out of them, in payments because of the illegal things that they've done to him. So there's a whole other side to what goes on with Akinwale Arobieke, and he's one of the only guys that I have to look up to, because he's huge, mate. He is a very, very big,
It says at Liverpool Crown Court in 1987 he was convicted of involuntary manslaughter, and the family weren't even happy with that. After his sentence, Gary's father publicly condemned the sentences as disgraceful and a failure of British justice. Graffiti reading "R.I.P. Gary Kelly" appeared in the local area. After his manslaughter conviction was overturned, believe it or not, he sued for racial discrimination in his prosecution. He actually won £35,000. That was a lot of money in 1989. This is one of the earliest public assertions that the media had covered. In 1990s, I'd say he hit his peak. Stories circulate about him targeting rugby players and gym goers. He sues the Sunday People in 1997 after an article describes him as a 6'5" giant stalker of Super League stars. The case collapsed after one day. Exaggerated myths were brought up in court. In 2001, he was convicted of persistent harassment and intimidation of young men in Liverpool and sentenced to 30 months in prison. The police described him as obsessive and a source of fear within the local community.
How are we, bro? Purple Aki, yeah? Don't be shy, lad.
Tell him to get out the area,
What are you
lad.
doing around here, bro?
Get out the area, lad.
Get out the area, bro. Serious. Say
Go on,
something, bro.
get out the area, lad.
Get out the area, man. Hey, boys, here's Purple Aki.
Be careful, lads.
You might Be come careful. boys out
Get
here,
out the
man.
area,
Get
lad.
out the area, lad. Yeah, what?
2 years later, he was convicted of harassing 15 people across Merseyside, mostly indecent assault accounts left on the file, and was jailed for 6 years. The judge called him a danger to young men with a strange and obsessive behaviour. Detective Superintendent Mike Dell praises victims' bravery, and he claims it's a witch hunt by police after his complaints against officers. He's basically making out that the police have this massive conspiracy against him. Anyway, in 2006, obviously 3 years later, he's released from prison on licence. Merseyside police apply and win for an interim sexual offences prevention order in Liverpool Magistrates Court, banning him from touching muscles, entering gyms without permission, or approaching young men despite no sexual conviction. This has gone from a myth to actually being brought up in courtrooms that this is true. This isn't just being spoken about in documentaries and made up for entertainment. This is happening around Liverpool. He really wanted to carry on touching muscles, that he attempted to overturn the muscle touching ban in court but failed. It said that he was behaving erratically. The court reveals his stalker manual with victims and details, and he apologises to victims, admitting he's infamous and a boogeyman. So he goes quiet over the next couple of years, but you're always going to hear his name around the Liverpool streets. Purpleaki will come and get you. In 2013, it was said that he approached a student on a train from Manchester Piccadilly, asking to measure his bicep. Now he's asking these people now for permission to go ahead and touch them because he can say that they consented. He just wanted to measure their muscles and have a look.
Purpleaki, Purpleaki, hey. Here we go, where we go, where we go. Purpleaki in a trackie. He's looking nice.
Obviously, he was not allowed to do this, so he got convicted of a breach for that train incident. He represented himself in court and claimed that the police, again, set him up due to his fame and complaints about the racist nickname in court papers, and the jury convicts him unanimously. The following year, Manchester Crown Court, interestingly enough, lifted the order, putting no more restrictions on him, as recent victims reported no sexual gratification or harm, emphasising Purpleaki's freedom. The same year, he went international. In the country, and people all around the world were watching a BBC Free documentary, The Man Who Squeezes Muscles, searching for Purpleaki. This includes victim testimonies and complaints to Merseyside police. After the BBC Free film, Purpleaki reported the BBC to Merseyside police for inciting racial hatred. He objected to descriptions like big black man used 3 times and claims that everyone has seen him or been chased by him, calling it demonetizing and racist. Police investigated but no charges followed, and he did not participate in the documentary himself.
I don't want to take my top off. He's like, why, what's wrong with it? You do bodybuilding, I'm into bodybuilding, I just want to see your muscles, that's it. He was stood in front of the door, I had nowhere to go. In the end, took my top off. And he's got me doing all these bodybuilding poses, he's looking at me. He's like, right, I want to see how strong you are. Get me in a fireman's lift and squat me. So I was like, no chance. He's like, why not? He started getting a bit aggressive. Anyway, I just ended up doing it.
So he's on your back?
He's on here like this. Fucking massive 6'5" he is. He was sweating loads, and I remember thinking, why are you sweating? After I put him down, he wasn't in front of the door, so I just opened the door and legged it. Ran all the way to the train station, train back to Formby.
In that documentary, they brought up the 1986 incident where that boy unfortunately lost his life. They brought up 2001 where he was cleared of 50 accounts of indecent assault but jailed for 30 months for threats to kill and forcing a family into witness protection. In 2003, obviously he got sentenced to 6 years for 15 counts of harassment and witness intimidation and approaching dozens of young men, 61 additional counts, mostly indecent assault. And they spoke about how post 2003, his release led to repeated breaches of his order. Because in July 2016, just before the documentary came out, he was arrested in Liverpool for allegedly sexually assaulting a 30-year-old boy by touching his biceps and fined. A bizarre story around his name is a food shop in Manchester had to apologise for naming a burger joint Purple Aki with a bicep squeezing sign. After racism complaints, they had to apologise and his name became a meme status overall. In the last couple of years, he's gotten a lot older now and obviously less active. There was a few videos on social media. There was one that went viral with some youths in Liverpool throwing around fireworks apparently on his street, and people had spotted him on public driving where he confronted them.
But Purpleaki,
Don't show respect.
what you mean show respect? You're a fucking, you what? What, you got bullied out of Liverpool for what? For being a what, you fucking groomer? You fucking dickhead. You what? Get the fuck out of the car, you smelly bastard. Round the road, don't let him go, lads. Don't let him go. Purpleaki, mate. Get his fucking rage, the fucking crap.
And there was rumours in 2023 that he had died, but they were false reports. And then just recently, 26th of August 2025, he has died at the age 64. He was found unresponsive in his home at around 8:30 p.m. and pronounced dead at the scene. Merseyside police confirmed the death as non-suspicious. A file was passed on to Liverpool and a coroner will investigate. Obviously, people have mixed feelings on him. Very, very strange story that I've made. I've looked into this guy before and was going to make something on it many years ago, but over the last couple of years things have kind of quieted down. Like I said, he's got a lot older now and then he has passed away just recently. But this was just something different for the police to deal with. Overall, a bizarre situation. You don't hear many stories like this.
I don't remember speaking to you about it, to be fair, mate, but... No. Yeah, you're good.
Well, you look fair big, that's all.
Yeah. Appreciate it, bro.
Right, no problem.
Right, nice one, mate.
Thank you.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Nice one.
And it has to be noted on here, in 2014, Purpleaki filed complaints alleging mistreatment by the police. He had a civil case against Greater Manchester Police, including a threatening encounter at their headquarters that he alleged. An investigation upheld 3 claims leading to staff retraining in 2022, and he won a settlement from GMP for malicious prosecution and misfeasance in a public office, claiming 2 officers targeted him with false accusations from 2012 onwards. This reinforces narrative of being a victim of systemic bias. There's only certain stuff that actually went to the police. I'm wondering, has anyone got any Purpleaki stories that are from Liverpool? Do not just make them up in the comments, but I'm sure there was a lot of people that had situations with him that they couldn't call the police, but were just an odd encounter overall. That was a lot of the situations that happened with Purpleaki, where he was interested in just measuring people's muscles. I see often online that the police didn't know how to deal with Purpleaki. It was a bizarre situation what he was doing, trying to examine if he had intent of sexually harassing the victims. They were not female. If these were female victims he was going up to and approaching, it would be sexual harassment. They was male. I don't know if he was that way inclined to do something to them sexually. His main obsession was a kink to do with bodybuilding and feeling their muscles. It is just something different, like I said, and the police been bamboozled by him. He often won settlements against them. A man from Liverpool called Darren G, who spent a long time in prison and would have heard all the stories, the prison whispers, said that Purpleaki essentially is a legal eagle and knows how to represent himself and beat cases. This shows the amount of times he went up against the police and he won and he got settlements and avoided big jail sentence and getting out early for that initial incident. This guy definitely knew the system. There was rumours that he could even represent himself in court, which is a hard thing to do and win a case.
But when he gets arrested for these charges, which he's always doing, does he have protection in the legal system to only be getting short sentences?
Well, he's like a brief.
What's that? What do you mean?
He's got the brief of a barrister, Akin, and that's why he was useful to criminals.
Oh, he's like a legal eagle?
Yeah. He's like a legal fucking kestrel, if you like. He's proper. He just haven't got the documents.
So his family's not connected to high ups in the legal system and politicians?
Look, you heard rumours that he was the prince of an African king and all this fucking... all that nonsense. But it's nonsense, you're on it. Yeah. It's bullshit. He's just some black kid from down there somewhere. who nonsense kids.
So, all right. So, like I said, and like you've said, you go in prison, sex offender, KOS, kill on sight. He goes in as a sex offender. How come he's not getting attacked?
Because he's got too much pull off Liverpool gangsters.
In this, oh man, that's insane.
But there were claims that led to over 122 police interviews. He would have learned a lot of lessons from them each time going in, and he was described as a danger to young men. Then at other points they had lifted that order and said there was no sexual gratification or harm to victims, suggesting his behaviour was non-criminal in isolation. But let me know in the comments right now, how do you feel about this guy and his overall situation in terms of what happened on the internet and how people feared him over the years?